the headband on this morning. That would have solved it. But anyway,
Okay.
We're good.
Well, good morning, audience. My name's Tracy Warren, and I'm the managing director of the Snohomish County chapter of eWomenNetwork. And let's see, what else do I want to say about that? I don't know.
You're amazing.
Thank you for that.
You want me to introduce you?
No. So I started these blabs just a couple weeks ago as a way to introduce our members to more people. And what I'm finding the side benefit is that I get to know the members in my chapter better. And my role as the managing director is to be the matchmaker, to be the consummate connector for my chapter. And when I know my members better, I'm better equipped to make those great connections. So today, joining me is Julie Hansberry, not the warm fuzzy consultant. She is the warm and fuzzy marketing consultant. Well, one of the things I love about you, Julie, is how you introduce yourself. The whole idea that we don't get real mail anymore. I have one friend, I sent her a card. It got returned with the wrong address. I messaged her and said, hey, I need your correct address. Got her real address, sent her the card again, and got it back postage due. I'm like, apparently I was not meant to send her that card. I am like beyond frustrated by this stupid card that I'm trying to. Anyway, so as we start, tell us about yourself. Like,
okay.
How did you get here, and what do you do? And
wow. Yeah. Okay, that's a long story, but I'll give you the abbreviated version.
Okay, perfect.
How I got here, essentially, my husband and I were both born and raised in Pennsylvania. Moved shortly after we got married. He's been in the corporate world his entire career, and we move a lot. So I like to say I'm the following spouse, the corporate spouse. And when people find out we've moved 12 times in 26 years, they're like, are you military? It's like, no, we're corporate America, the other military. But I never in my wildest dreams growing up in Western Pennsylvania ever thought that we would have had this experience. And we are so grateful for it because I've met literally people all over the world like you. And so when my husband and I first got married, I told him I would never be a stay-at-home mom. I had career aspirations. I was going to be the career girl. And as we kept moving and moving and moving, that became more and more difficult. And then, of course, we had our first child. And as many moms out there probably can relate, when that baby was 6 weeks old and it was time to go to daycare, I said, there's no way anyone else is taking care of this baby. And fortunately, I will be forever grateful. Financially, we were able to have me be a stay-at-home mom. And that truly is, I will be forever grateful for that because my mother was a single mom raising two girls, sometimes working 2-3 jobs. And all she ever wanted to do was be at home with her kids. And she just couldn't do it. So fast forward 15 years later or so, we were back from our second expat assignment. Expat assignment meaning we're Americans living abroad, working in another country. I throw that term out and I forget that a lot of people don't understand. So we came back, we were living in California. Eldest was starting high school, youngest was starting middle school. And I was just at a time in my life, and I'm sure a lot of women out there relate. I meet them all the time in eWomen. Professional identity. Where was I? What was I? What was I doing? I'd spent years still utilizing my skills in lots of volunteer positions, executive level volunteer positions, doing a lot of work for other people for free, but that really wasn't fulfilling me anymore. And you get to a point in your life, many of us, particularly if we'd had previous career aspirations, we want to get back out there. We want to do something for us. It's not about the money. Well, some of it might be for the money, but usually if you really peel back the layers, money has nothing to do with it, right? It's the professional identity, the personal growth, that you're missing something and you're searching for something. So I think fortunately at the time, and even now, I don't make a good employee. I'm not good employee material. We move too much. I refuse to give up my social life. I love to play tennis and do some other things. I just do not want to be tied to a job with somebody else telling me when I have to be somewhere and what I have to do and when I have to do it. But I'm a hard worker. I'm committed. So what's a girl to do? Dressmaker by trade. A lot of you don't know that about me.
No, I didn't know that.
But again, that was a career path that it would have required us to be in one place for a long period of time to establish clientele. I don't do alterations. I do custom work. So, that takes time to build. You can't do that when you're moving all the time. So anyway, interestingly enough, I had this friend of mine introduce me to network marketing. And initially, I avoided her like the plague because everybody told me I should. I had no idea what I was saying no to.
Right.
But I kept saying, no, not interested, not interested. Well, one day she called me and asked me for a favor and introduced me, said, I have this big event coming. I know you don't have any interest in my business, but would you just come, support me? And I said, absolutely. I could do that for you. And I went with the intention of finding everything wrong and everything was right. What she didn't know and what I didn't know what I didn't know. This profession of network marketing filled every single one of the criteria I was looking for.
Right.
Absolutely. And I was floored. I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. So I got started a little over 8 years ago. 3 years into that, I was kind of at a crossroads. I loved the profession. I truly think this profession is one of the greatest career paths in the world for people who have the criteria of, they want to be flexible, no glass ceiling, doesn't matter where you went to school, all that stuff. But I didn't love the product and the company I was representing. There was something missing there. And along the way, someone introduced me to my current company, Send Out Cards. And I immediately connected. It was that emotional connection with people. It was that warm and fuzzy, right? I was having people calling me sometimes in tears over a silly piece of paper with their picture on it that I sent them in the mail. And that just really spoke to me. And I love working with small businesses. When I did a lot of volunteering time, I was typically the fundraiser or the liaison with the supporters and the donors. And so I really love that space of small business. I speak their language. I have a really good perspective being my husband's in the corporate world. So I understand scale and just, I have I think one of my unique talents is my perspective. Because I've had to change my perspective over and over. I always have to be open to new ways of thinking because we move so much. And I'm always, in front of different ways of doing things. So I think I really have a gift for bringing that to business owners and business professionals is, let me show you another perspective. And so I started building Send Out Cards 5.5 years ago. I absolutely love it. I love what I can do to help people build their business, whether it's a traditional business, whether they're self-employed, realtor, insurance broker, whether they're another network marketing company. Mm-hmm. I can absolutely help anybody build their business. And at the same time, then I in turn build mine. So right. Hope that wasn't too long-winded, but that's it in a nutshell.
No. So can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you put your other head thing in?
Sure.
Your other earpiece? I'm getting a tapping and I think it might be from something hanging. I have no idea. I'm just guessing.
Well,
and then, so for those people who might be listening to this on the replay, or if they come on, how do you describe Send Out Cards?
I describe Send Out Cards. Well, sometimes it depends on who I'm talking to, but let's talk eWomen first.
For those who don't know what Send Out Cards is, that's really my point.
Okay. For those of you who don't know what Send Out Cards is, we are an internet-based greeting card and a gift company. So are you still getting that echo? Because I think I actually have my speaker on as well as my headset. And that might be part of the problem here. Hold on a minute. Can you still hear me?
Yes, very loud.
Okay.
Oh, there's Kelly Statema.
There, that might be better. And I can hear you too. So let me turn up my microphone. That's the difference. I was using my headset, so you can still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
And I can still hear you too.
Now the echo is really loud.
Now the echo is really loud.
You have to use the headset.
Okay, have to use the headset. So let's plug that back in. Let me try this. Let me try muting my speaker. Can you still hear me? Shake your head.
Yeah.
I can't hear you though. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And this is a new computer, so we're just going to punt. Okay. How do I describe Send Out Cards? We're an internet-based greeting card and gift company. So imagine you're stuck somewhere. I love it. You need to send out a card. You have a prompting to reach out to somebody. Versus instead of getting in your card, going to the store, driving, picking out a card, you can literally go on your computer, on your phone even now, pick out a card 24/7, personalize it, add your own pictures. We can digitize your own handwriting. You click send. We print the card. We put it in an envelope. We address the envelope. We stamp the envelope, and we mail it for you. All for the price of $1.17 plus the stamp at our best price. We like to call ourselves the Netflix of the greeting card and gift industry because we're following the same path Netflix has done with video, Amazon has done with books, and now everything else you can buy, and iTunes has done with music. Go ahead, get the dog.
Okay, hold on.
Yep.
Stop.
Yes,
this is
magic
my
water
friend.
bottle. Yes, I do the same thing.
Okay. Oh man. So we live in an apartment building where when the neighbors leave, the doors shut automatically and they shut really loud.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that that's what they're hearing. But if I have the squirt bottle, no barking. Oh my gosh.
It's all good.
Yeah. So I've been using send out cards for, gosh, I think it's like 8 years.
Awesome.
And I find that I use it mostly for sending gifts.
Awesome.
It makes an impact. I do like handwriting cards. Like I have this bin next to me with greeting cards. But when I want to send something, I don't want to go to I don't want to go to the post office. I mean, Kelly has told me stories about going to the Mill Creek post office. Like it's dreadful.
Same here.
And the fact that I can send something as a gift. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about follow-up.
Okay, first I just want to interject. I don't ever want to discourage anybody from doing a handwritten card. I'm never looking for someone to say, hey, instead of doing that handwritten card, you send out cards instead, because that is still the absolute #1 best way to reach out and touch somebody is the personal handwritten card. So please don't ever stop doing that because it's incredible. But we can help you supplement with all the other card sending you perhaps need to do but aren't doing, whether that's professionally or personally, because we can be the next best thing to taking pen to paper. So I just want to interject that because I think that's fabulous about you, Tracy. I've been on the receiving end of your handwritten cards and I love them.
Excellent. Well, and you're right about, so what you just said, I think was key. You said to supplement the card sending we should be doing.
Yes.
Okay. The key is we're not.
Exactly.
So how do you support people in getting that to be a part of their everyday activity?
Well, it's like anything else. If it's something you want to change in your life, it has to become a new habit, right? So typically when I start somebody else, I encourage them, if you're a paper person, be making notes in your planner. Schedule it on your calendar. Every Monday and Friday, I'm going to send cards. I set aside 30 minutes a day, and I have an ongoing list of people I need to send cards to. For those of us who are paper people, it's really easy for me because I just flip my calendar back. Who did I meet with last week, and who do I need to reach out to, right? I've always got some sort of running notes or something. Facebook makes it really easy too because you can, if you need somebody's address or you can text them really quick. If they pop into your head, hey, can you send me your address really quickly? I need to put something in the mail to you. So it's pretty easy to do, but it's a habit. And I know it's like anything else in our business with some of the things we know we should be doing. They're easy to do, but they're just as easy not to do. So it really is making the intention, scheduling it into your day, and figuring out what that looks like for you. I tell people the simplest start is, especially we're talking businesses, your clients and prospects really should be hearing from you at least 4 times a year. It's a proven fact that your existing clients and customers will stop doing business with you. The #1 reason they will stop doing business with you is perceived lack of indifference, meaning they honestly think you don't care about them anymore. If you're not staying in touch and staying top of mind and reaching out to them on an ongoing basis, they're going to give their business to somebody else. And it has nothing to do with price, competition, service. It's simply they forget about you or they think you don't care. Perfect example of this is one of the first people I signed up with send out cards was a realtor that had sold us our home in California. And when I walked him through send out cards, he got this ghastly white look on his face. And he said, oh my gosh, this hits so close to home. And I said, what do you mean? He said, I sold a house to a guy a couple years ago. He's actually a friend. We belong to the same country club. We golf together occasionally. You know, we socialize with the same circle of people. Well, just the other day, I walked into our office and he's relisted that house with another agent in our office. Oh. Ouch. Ouch. And he said, I was so blown away. I called the guy. I'm like, what did I do? Did I make you mad? Did I, I don't remember us having a disagreement. And the guy said, Phil, you sold me a house 2 years ago and I never heard from you again. How hard would it have really been to stay in touch a couple times a year? So at the very least, I say, for the price of, I love to use this analogy actually, for the price of a Starbucks, we're all very familiar with a Starbucks cup of coffee. For the price of a Starbucks, there you go. For the price of that coffee, Tracy, you could be reaching out to everybody on your list, everyone in your sphere of influence 3 times a year with send out cards. Yeah. Is it worth a cup of coffee?
Yeah.
Right? And the beautiful thing about our system is we can make that automated for you. So literally we can set up a campaign, works like email autoresponders, and this is what people love. We can set it up once and they don't have to remember to do the very, very basic 3 cards a year. A birthday card, one of the most powerful, by the way, inexpensive, underutilized marketing tools ever is a birthday card. A holiday card, and I actually encourage people not to do the big ones in December, but to do the fun ones. Do St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, Groundhog Day. Think out of the box and do the ones that no one else is doing. That used to be Thanksgiving. Now everybody's doing Thanksgiving too. So do something out of the, or make up your own crazy holiday. This is my favorite customer holiday day, whatever you want it to be. And then
I had a client once that was using send out cards, and it was like February. And he's like, I already picked out my 4th of July card. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
I love it.
He was so excited. Well, it was one of the ones, it was a Star Wars themed card, right?
Mm-hmm.
So excited. But that's so true. I'm so glad you said that about Christmas cards or Hanukkah cards, that kind of thing. Well, this year we got less holiday cards than we've ever gotten. I just lost my dog a few weeks ago and I got 1 card in the mail, and you know what? I'm not going to forget who sent me a card in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my superhero day job, as you know, but maybe other people don't know, is that I teach business owners how to use social media. And I think part of what social media has done for us in a bad way is it's taken away the connection.
Yeah.
So something bad happens and we write sorry, and something good happens and we write yay, and that's the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
But how much more of an impact we can make by getting a real live greeting card in the mail.
Yeah. I have a colleague in Send Out Cards. She's an awesome real estate agent in Michigan, and she is a true example of celebrating people. And she's known as the local paparazzi. She's always taking pictures wherever she goes, and she sends cards. And she has built her real estate business up to 98% referral. And all she does as far as print marketing is send out cards. And she is known for, she watches people on Facebook. She takes that a step further. She pulls the picture off Facebook and sends them a card. And what's so exciting about send out cards is last year we launched our app. So that is literally so easy to do now. You don't have to download the picture and then save it and then go find it again and upload it and send out cards. Literally, you save the picture to your phone and send the card right from your phone. I mean, it can't be any easier. And people are blown away. I mean, they're just blown away. And
okay,
I have to go ahead. I see you.
I have a question about that. Okay.
Yeah.
So where does that get into creepiness factor? Because I've thought about that. Like, oh, that's a good idea, but is it creepy? Is it like, because I've felt sort of odd about it. But I also remember when my mom passed away in 2009, the card I remember the most came from Mavis. She's my upline in Send Out Cards. She had grabbed a whole bunch of pictures and made this 3-panel card. And I was floored.
Okay, well, you just answered your own question. Did it make you feel creepy?
I did, but I wonder if, and I guess you're friends and the pictures are public, and I guess I don't know, and maybe it's just my issue.
I will tell you that I've never had anybody, particularly when I've taken the time to put one of their pictures on a card, respond in a negative way. In fact, I can remember when I first started sharing send out cards, people would say, well, these would be great, but I would never use them for sympathy cards. That just would be personal enough. And I have to tell you, some of the cards I've gotten the biggest reactions on have been the sympathy cards, where I've gone to their Facebook page, I've pulled pictures of their memories with their loved ones, put it on a card, and the message I always get back is, I will treasure this forever.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, yeah, I think sometimes we just have to get out of our own head. And isn't that the truth with a lot of things? You know, we all get stuck, right? This is another reason why I love eWomen, because we have this ability to come together and get different perspectives and different feedback from people who have a different set of eyes and a different set of ears, right? So you're struggling with it. I'm telling you the exact just telling you to go for it, right?
All right.
Very much sometimes when we even have an idea to do in our business and we think, oh, not sure. And some people are going to say, love it. Some people are going to say, hate it. Well, you know what? It's all a test anyway. So, but I've never, ever had somebody call me or reach out to me and say, you know what, that card was awful. I can't believe you put my picture on it. You know, that's just never happened. Now, offline, I'll tell you an interesting story about something else, but it just, I don't know. I've never had, I mean, think about it. Have you ever had a negative reaction to a card someone sent you in the mail? Ever?
No.
And I can't imagine anybody using a greeting card for hate mail.
Although, you know, you can send people confetti.
Yeah.
Like, you can send your enemies glitter.
Oh,
a glitter bomb, right?
Actually, true. Sam never thought of that, but I would encourage you, if you're connected with somebody on Facebook, you have some sort of relationship with them. If you have their address, that relationship is at another level entirely. And seriously, you are going to touch people in places that 87% of our messages received on a regular basis, on a daily basis, are negative. Anytime you can help tap somebody into that other 13%, that positivity, it's a win.
Well, and you know what I just thought of just now when you said that? I thought of something really great and then I just forgot it. So, okay, great.
I'll remember later.
Wow.
I like to really, I actually came up with this whole little talk that I do now on the fortunes in the follow-up. And I came up with this analogy, this acronym FUN. Let's bring the fun back into follow-up. So just think about fun when you're talking about follow-up. Make follow-up first. F is for fun. So what can you do that's fun? Follow-up isn't always about pitching your deal. Okay. In fact, follow-up should be about building the relationship above and beyond anything else. So keep the 80-20 rule in mind, right? 80% of your messages going out should be, let's build a relationship, get to know each other, you know, build some rapport. So think about fun ways you can follow up. And Facebook is one of them, whether it's, you know, taking pictures and sending cards or literally giving somebody a shout out on Facebook, right? I have a colleague of mine she is a master at this. Like, she is so good about going onto people's pages and shouting them out and making them look like, you know, superstars. How can you do that with your clients and prospects, right?
Right.
How can you shine light on them? If you know they have fun interests, if you know they like to ski, or maybe they have like a particular breed of dog, or, you know, think of interesting, fun ways you can reach out to them. Unexpected is the you. That unexpected card in the mail, the unexpected shout out on Facebook, maybe the unexpected text of, hey, I was thinking about you today and I ran across somebody who I think I need to connect you to. I think you'd have good synergy. You know, how can you serve somebody in an unexpected way?
Right.
And then novelty, you know, what are some of the fun things you can do? Back to send out cards, we have lots of fun gifts that, you know, you may know somebody who's a golfer and you have a really fun golfing gift, so you send that. It's something novel. Maybe you know they have a unique hobby, so you go find something unique that relates to that hobby and you stick it in the mail to them, or, you know. So again,
my best friend's mom has cancer, And she's going through this horrible treatment. So I sent her the little flower,
Oh, I love the dancing flower.
Just like, I want her to smile.
Yeah.
And that goofy flower is going to dance around and it's going to make her smile. Novelty. I like that.
Yeah, novel. So that's my little acronym for follow-up. Let's keep follow-up fun. So if you keep that in mind, and those are 3 different ways you can reach out to people. No business message whatsoever, right? But on the flip side of that, our custom branding now allows you to have your business information on the card without taking away from the message. A little plug there, but just think about how can I make this fun? Make it fun. And I think that might be one of the reasons why we do less of follow-up, because we look at it as a chore. It's like, oh, right? So let's make it fun. And you'll stand out from the crowd for sure. People will remember you.
Right.
And you're going to make them feel good. And that, that goes back to my tagline. When was the last time you went to your mailbox and amongst all the bills and junk mail, there was a card, and you opened that card and that warm and fuzzy feeling you felt when you opened that card?
Right.
You want people to feel that way about you. So what can you do to bring that forward?
Mm-hmm. I know that follow-up is not my greatest strength. So in an effort to trick my brain, I've been saying, I am a follow-up master.
I like that.
And, that whole law of attraction, all that jazz. Yeah. So I am a follow-up master. And what tends to happen with me and send out cards is I sit down and do a whole bunch rather than making it a daily practice. So what are some other, so you said you can set up, and I know the answers to these questions, but our audience might not. What are some of the other cool features of send out cards? You mentioned the branding on the back. What are some other things that make it unique?
Well, actually, the personal handwriting font and signatures. There's no other system out there that lets you do that I'm aware of anyway. So you can literally duplicate your own handwriting. So when I get the response from people, well, it's not in my own handwriting. It's, I could say, oh, actually, it can be. And actually, you can use your own signature. My dog has her own signature. So nice. Again, you can really have some fun with that. So that's one of the unique features. Another one that I think goes underutilized and underrecognized is the ability for us to remind you of special occasions, those birthdays and anniversaries. We actually have a reminder system. And you will, once you enter somebody's birthday or anniversary, and you can enter unlimited children as well. And I teach businesses to use those children as maybe if they're a real estate agent, they use those children as anniversaries for house sales or closings, or if they're a car dealer, the car's birthday, right? But you'll get an email from us 2 weeks before the event. You can even be, if you want to be, we can help you be really lazy about this. I have a law firm in Redmond here who loves to send birthday cards, but they hate remembering when to send them. So every January, they prepay for the entire year. They set up a new birthday card in January. They connect it to everybody on their list, and 7 to 10 days before everybody's birthday, Send Out Cards will pull that card and put it into production for them, and they never have to remember it. And that's the beautiful thing about the campaigns too. I kind of encourage business owners, especially when you're setting up a campaign. Let's say you want to do a 3-card touch campaign. You know what? Go ahead and add just one more card at the end. And it's nothing but, hey, just dropping by to wish you a great day. Just add that one more. It's going to be totally unexpected. It goes out a month after the last one, whatever. But again, it's a touch and you don't have to remember to do it. So just one more. And back to your system, Tracy, I think if you do it like in batches, I tend to do that too. That's fine. Whatever the thing about systems, right? Find one that works for you and that you're going to do, right? So if that works for you, great. Some of us, that's a little overwhelming. So then you got to say, okay, let's break it down. Commit to 2 a day, or 1 a day, or whatever you need to do. But the thing is just to do it.
Well, I should also tell you that my birthday is coming up. It's actually
awesome. And I don't think I sent you a card last year because you weren't in my system. So I'll make sure I remember you.
May 31st, just so you know.
Okay.
Well, and that whole idea of, so I teach business and social media, but it's kind of beyond social media. It's connecting the offline and the online. And I love the idea of, and I was talking to somebody, I learned a couple weeks ago that you can do delayed sending on Outlook.
Yes, you can.
So you can so you meet someone today and you can go to Outlook and say, hey, it was great to meet you today. And then you could write another one, say, just following up, that goes out 2 weeks later. Well, you could do the same thing with send out cards.
You absolutely can. And in fact, if you want to send a card today, you can delay. Like if I went in and said, I'm going to send Tracy a birthday card, but I know she's not home next week, so I'm going to delay delivery for a week. You can do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about the stuff, the gifts, the gifts that you can send. Like, okay, first of all, I know that Send Out Cards flat out has the best brownies on the planet.
And you know, I have so much fun when I'm at an event and somebody sees my name tag or they hear my commercial and they come over, and if they do nothing else, say, oh my gosh, I have been the recipient of your brownies and they are absolutely incredible. I love that. Just warms my heart. But yes, we have amazing gifts. And it's funny, I just did an interview with Howard Partridge. And for those of you who don't know, Tracy, follow this guy on Facebook. He's amazing. He uses Send Out Cards. He endorses Send Out Cards, and he actually calls us the best networking tool ever in his books. And he talks about one of the greatest ways to get somebody's attention, particularly if you're trying to get in front of the gatekeeper or you want to get beyond the gatekeeper, is food. And one of the top foods that speaks the highest is chocolate. And we've got chocolate brownies. So yeah, I have to tell you, those brownies are powerful. They really are. But in addition to the brownies, we have tons of other things too. And I particularly love sharing this when I share this with other direct sellers and I talk about our gifts. Our gifts aren't just Send Out Cards gifts. They're great gifts that motivate, inspire, and make people feel good. They're generic gifts that you're going to be sending to anybody.
Right.
You know, whether it's, you know, little prayer cards and tokens that go inside a card that cost a couple bucks, to, you know, gift baskets in the $200 and $300 range, gourmet food, Mother's Day. In fact, we just launched our Mother's Day gifts. They're beautiful. We have a whole line for breast cancer survivors. We have a really fun line for guys. The kids stuff is ever evolving. We get some of the coolest puzzles and games and stuff in our kids section. And it's ever expanding. So you'll notice if you do use our campaigns, sometimes the catalog you see for campaigns is different than the catalog you see if you're sending a one-off card. And this is a question I get a lot. That's because some of our stuff is seasonal and we can't get it all the time, 365 days a year. So if you're setting up a campaign and you're adding gifts to a campaign, you can always get our brownies, but you may not be able to get, you know, a seasonal little gift in a campaign too. But yeah, we have everything under the sun. I mean, and if you can't find the perfect gift, we have gift cards. So, you know, one size fits all. And we can even put it in a little fancy box for you now too. I don't know if you know that, but if you like it to be gift wrapped, we can gift wrap your gift card.
Yeah. I usually just send the plain box.
I do too, but
I should send the fancy box.
Yeah.
So tell me, I want to hear some stories about, like, tell me some really amazing success stories you have. I'm sure you have them.
Well, Gail's in tech, the realtor I talk about, 98% referral. She's built her business. And I think she got to the 98% in like 3 years, doing nothing but send out cards. I'd just like to share, not so much a success story, but a story that really touches the heart. I have a lady on my team who we actually met at my previous company. And when I decided to come over to send out cards, we were sidelined to each other. And I told everybody, you know, I'm not trying to cross recruit you, but I'm moving. Sadly, about a year into send out cards, her husband committed suicide. And one of the really unique things that we do in send out cards is we shower people with cards. We have, you know, anytime someone posts a request, we shower people with cards. And I shared, you know, not a lot of details, but a little bit about, you know, she had a tragedy. Her husband took his own life. She's really struggling. Can we lift this woman up? She started getting cards from people. And I also set up a campaign. I said, I just want to make sure she hears from me every couple of weeks, you know. She calls me a few months, it was probably almost a year after he died. And she said, I just have to tell you that these cards are in a basket beside my chair. I read them every day. And when I really, it never failed on the lowest days, I'd go to the mail. Sorry, I'm getting tears now. On my lowest days, I would go to the mailbox and there would be a card from a complete stranger. And it's just what I needed. The cards always show up on the days they're needed most. And she said, you know what? I've got to do this. I've got to do this with you. I can't not do this because this is so incredibly powerful and everybody in their life needs to have this. So sorry, now we're all going to get.
I know. Well,
but that's the beauty of what we do.
You just brought up a very good point about specifically grief. Because what tends to happen is somebody dies and it's an immediate response. People are like, okay, I have to let her know. I'm thinking about her. And then it's gone.
Yeah.
And so the idea of, I called a gal, she lost her mom, and I called her just like a month later just to check in. And she's like, so why are you calling? I'm like, because I know people forget.
Mm-hmm.
And while we forgot, it's still fresh for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that idea of setting up like a little drip, and I love that about send out cards. Like I've sent cards to perfect strangers. And, you know, it's kind of like when you do Toys for Tots, right? You're buying a toy, you know some kid is getting it. You don't know who that is, but there's that warm and fuzzy. Warm and fuzzy. I know for me, I have a warm fuzzy file in my email where people who've said nice things about me, they stay there. I have kept all the cards from when my mom passed away. I haven't gone back to look at them. But I have them. Yeah. I'm sure not going to look at them now since I'm feeling like all emotional.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of, like, I have all sorts of ideas now for writing cards. So I'm like,
I know now the idea juices are flowing. But you talk about success. You know, success means different things to different people. For me, there's the level of business success. You know, is my business growing using the system? But you and I both know that the more you give, the more you're going to get.
Yep.
So that's what I focus on. That's what success is to me. If I can make the connection, make somebody feel good, lift somebody up, I know it's going to come back to me tenfold. And that's really what this is all about. You know, how much money I make at the end of the day, or how much money I help a business owner make by using this as a marketing tool, is the end result of making people feel better, lifting them up, giving them that dose of positivity that they probably are lacking in a big way. Let's face it, we all are. And it just takes all of us up to a different level. So, you know, I can go to the testimonial page on Send.Cards. We have one, and I can share story after story of how, you know, this business owner got this deal because he sent, you know, a box of brownies and he beat out everybody else. I can share one of my own success stories. Actually, I reached out to one of my old bosses from 25 years ago when I was a newlywed here in Seattle.
Wow.
And I was his admin assistant. We both worked for the company. They own and manage major retirement communities around the country, now around the world. He now owns the company.
Whoa.
And I reached out to him by way of a card. I was just looking to see who he was. I'm like, gosh, you own the company now? So I got his picture. I put it on a card. I sent him some brownies. He still talks about it today. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to be presenting send out cards to all his general managers. So, but I had really no intention of that. I was just reaching out to say, oh my gosh, you know, you're now the big guy, right? And we were both peons before, and how wonderful it is. And we reconnected and reestablished a friendship. And, but anyway, the card was powerful, as were the brownies.
Right. Well, okay. So I want to switch the shift a little bit.
Okay.
And let's talk about business.
Okay.
I find that it's very easy for business owners to look at someone like you and go, oh, that's just a network marketing business.
Yeah.
So, and I know that this isn't like a side hustle for you. This is your job. So, and not your job, it's your business. So what do you do differently to emphasize that this really is your business?
And not my hobby?
And not your hobby. Thank you.
Yeah. I actually have a colleague in doTERRA. She's actually on my team too. She's a referral partner who calls it hobby or hustle. And I love that term. First of all, network marketing was created. I had a mentor of mine tell me this. Network marketing was created many, many years ago for the hobbyist, for the housewife at home that was looking to make a little extra spending money. Okay. And she could do it around her family when her kids were at school. Someone then figured out that if you were to leverage this and really start building teams of people, you could build a very large business and create a very large income. Okay. 85% of the people that get involved with networking today are still in that part-time. They want to make a little extra, and that's never going to change. Then you have the other percent, the other 20, I should say 80-20. I think it's almost like 90-10, the 10%, right?
You do
who want to take this to another level.
Right.
If you want this to be a business, you've got to treat it like a business. If you want it to be a hobby, you treat it like a hobby. I take my business very seriously. I am building a business. Now, for those people who've come across other network marketers that are more hobbyists, hey, that's fine. That's the beauty of what we do. There's a place at the table for everybody, right? But I'm taking it up a notch. I want to build massive teams. I want to empower other people to build a business at whatever level. You talk about the word success. Success means a lot of different things to a lot of different people.
Oh, yeah.
And I will be the first one to say, don't you dare tell me that when I help a mom that wants to stay home with her kids, make an extra $500 a month, that she's not successful. I'm going to take you to the, you're going to have a problem debating that, because to me, that's success. That's where I was 8 years ago. I was just looking for something to keep me busy.
Yep.
Right. So, success means different things to different people. If it's, someone wants to make an extra $200 and we help them do that, we've had success, right? But there does come a time when you have to decide, is this my hobby or is this my profession? For me, this is a profession. I made a decision a few years ago that this is really where I wanted to stake my, plant my flag, and this is my chosen profession. Well, so I think it's a mindset.
And it's easier now, right? Because your kids are older.
Yes.
So when you decided to stay home, they were younger, and now you've got older kids. Did they use send out cards?
They play with it when they want to send something from time to time. And because my husband's in the corporate world, and I will tell you that he, in his early career days, his company was Procter & Gamble, who had, many of you may know, years ago, legal battles with Amway in court. So he has kind of a, which is fine. But because of the level he's at in his world, we have to keep everything very separate, because nothing can be ever construed of, we have to be very aware of that gray. So we just keep that. I don't network with his circle, and we kind of keep the kids there too. Now, I will tell you that as my kids get older, I would love to have them be involved in my business at some point, if they would, if they're interested in building an additional stream of income. And I would certainly encourage them to look at that. You and I both know, because of the age bracket we are, you have to be in charge of your own financial future, and developing multiple streams of income throughout your lifetime is the only way to do that. So if they ever wanted to be a part of that, I would welcome it. I don't push it on them, though.
Yeah, because they're teenagers, right?
19 and 22.
Okay.
Yep. So we really want them, like the eldest just graduated college last year, and he's focused on his first job. The youngest one is in his first year of college. So, it's like, let's just, you focus on what you want to do right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they know the
That's
options
awesome.
there.
Sure. I actually told my daughter, we went and toured our first university last week. And I told her, I'm like, Sarah, if you decide to go and then it doesn't work for you, it's okay. She's like, I could drop out. Yeah, you can. College isn't for everybody. Just like a job isn't for everybody.
Exactly.
I know that so I'm an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur. A lot of entrepreneurs I know talk about being certifiably unemployable.
Yes. That would be me right now.
Yeah.
There would be some very high criteria to meet to make me work for somebody right now.
Well, and you definitely have a much more unique set of circumstances because you do move a lot.
Yeah. But
I just think in general, you can't pay me what I'm worth.
Or will pay me what I need to make. I mean, I know now that we're empty nesters, my husband actually just took a new job that's based in Southern California. And the beauty of that right now is we don't have to move anytime soon. He's traveling so much. Mm-hmm. We have time to just kind of decide how we want to play this. Now, eventually he does have to establish residency because that's where the company's located, right? But we're also at a time in our life where we don't have to be on anybody else's plan or schedule. And it's really nice. And you can't do that when you're an employee. I mean, he is technically an employee too, but anyway.
Well, my guess is that his particular strengths allow him some freedom to be able to do things like live in Snohomish and commute. Yes.
And of course, I kind of had some influence on that too, because I've just got so much going on right now in the Seattle area. I was like, I'm not going anywhere right now. But having that flexibility, I mean, I know 18 months ago, we were in Hong Kong. His job took us to Hong Kong for a year, and I was able to do that. I mean, it was a challenge. Yes, my business slowed down a bit. There were adjustments to be made, but the beautiful thing in that was I can work this business from anywhere. In fact, I've moved twice during my send out cards business, once from California to Seattle and then Seattle to Hong Kong. So that's the beautiful thing about what we do. We can work from anywhere. I've got a phone and a computer and an internet connection. That's all I really need. And that's amazing. And that really is the business of the 21st century, right?
Yeah. What is your website?
My website for send out cards is workwithjulie.com. And I'm also I'm finally getting my own web page up, and that'll be juliehansberry.com. And I hopefully have that up by the end of the week.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm really excited. Another item off my bucket list and a kind of badge. I sent you a link the other day. I'm actually going to be featured in the May-June issue of Networking Times magazine.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So knowing that that's probably it's time to have my own website instead of just the company duplicated. Yeah. So I've been working on that, and hopefully it'll be live this week.
So tell me Networking Times, why was that important for you? What do you hope to accomplish from that?
Yeah. For those of you who don't know what the magazine is, it is one of my favorite trade publications for the network marketing industry. Josephine and Chris Gross are the editors and CEOs of Networking Times. And it really is it's our trade publication. It's the number one, you get, they're always highlighting the latest and greatest leaders, the latest, greatest, people coming up through the ranks. They support the profession. I'm a firm believer that, when you start anything, you have to become a student of the process. You have to become a student of what you're getting involved in. You have to seek out those who have walked the path before you and learn from them. And Networking Times is that publication. I consider it like my Bible. And it's always been on my bucket list to be a contributor. If you're in Networking Times, you're at a level. Yeah. And it was one of the things on my bucket list. And I had an opportunity to have a conversation with Josephine a few months ago and said, so what's the process here? And she said, well, let me tell you. And she reached out for me to submit something for their monthly, they have a regular column called Our Times. And there's always a theme to that particular column, and they have, 4 or 5 people contribute. So I'm going to be in the May June issue, and I'm just super excited. Super excited. Yeah.
This is just the beginning, right?
Just the beginning, yeah. But that's just, you talk about, this is my business, and I constantly have to be upping the game, right? So this is part of upping the game.
Right. I'm taking a breath. Well, it's like that 9:25. I try to end at 9:30, and I'm, So okay, back to eWomenNetwork for a minute. Why did you join eWomenNetwork? And don't say me, because I know you say that.
Well, you're a big part of it, though.
I know, but
let me give a little bit of history here. When I first came to Seattle, a lot of people shared, "Oh, you should really check out eWomen. You should really check out eWomen." And I was doing a lot of other networking, but I also knew that a colleague of mine, the chapter closest to mine, I had a colleague there. And, I felt like, there didn't need to be more than 2 of us in the room, even though eWomen doesn't have this, 1 seat policy, whatever. It's just a respectful thing, right? I mean, she'd been there for a long time. She'd established relationships. There was really no need for me to go there. There's plenty of other, places I could be spending my time. But you and I met. And I can remember the first time I met you, and you immediately stood out to me. You are one of those people who not only talk the talk, but walk the walk. And I think it was a constant contact workshop or something was the first time I met you. And you immediately engaged me in conversation. You're just one of those really cool people that when people meet you, they're like, I want to be in her circle. Like, I want to be connected. And you and I just kept crossing paths. And then a couple times you mentioned you should come to eWomen, more than one of you from Send Out Cards is fine. Like, just not where, I just know that. But okay. And then you started your own chapter. And you invited me to come. And at first I was like, oh, it's so far away, because it is about a 45-minute drive with no traffic. But then you had Sandra Yancey come into town, and you were just, trying to fill seats. There I have being a seat filler again. What is it? Mm-hmm. But I want to support you. I know how important it is. I have events myself, and I know how important it is to, have the room full of people who are like-minded, high energy, and, just to have that energy in the room. So I came to support you. And I have to tell you, I was just blown away by the eWomen experience. I, at the time, and you may not have known this, but I was really reevaluating where I was spending my time. I read a quote that said, sometimes it's not about changing your message, it's about changing your audience. And I was recognizing the need for me to up my game, to increase my circle of influence, to start hanging. You are a product of the people you spend most of your time with. Yep. And I was at a point where the people I was spending my time with were stuck here, and I wanted to go here. And eWomen really opened up my eyes to, that's where a lot of these people are. So I joined. And a lot of that was you. A lot of that was just the energy in the room, the caliber of people that show up, the ability to connect to so many people globally because of the eWomenNetwork being online. So that's why I joined. It was a no-brainer. It was the timing was right for me. And I saw the value in being able to connect with these women who were playing at a higher level. Not just women. We have a few men that get it. I love that tagline, by the way. And, with the likes of people like Sandra Yancey. And I can't wait to go to conference this year. I am so excited. Can't wait.
I'm excited, too. I'm excited that we have a bigger group coming. It was interesting. I was talking to my business coach this week, and she's like, Tracy, I just don't really think you need to network very much. And it was so thank you for giving me permission, because I have a huge network. Mm-hmm. I just need to take care of the people and get in touch with the people I'm already connected to, and take care of them.
And that's a great business tip, because don't we spend the majority of our time always trying to generate new leads instead of taking care of what we already have in our pocket?
Yeah. Well, which is why we end up with stacks of business cards on our desk that I sometimes look at these business cards and I'm like, I beat myself up a little, because I'm like, oh, that's 20 missed opportunities. right?
Yeah.
Like as I'm throwing them in the recycle bin. But I also know that it's never too late to share appreciation.
No, never.
So, but there are times when I've got these business cards and I can't remember. Like, usually they're in a stack so I know where I met them.
Well, here's a fun idea. If you just want to
Tell
reach
me.
out and at least get them into your loop, send a card and say, okay, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have no idea. I can't remember where we met. Your business card has been on my desk, so I'm sending you a card today to reach out. If you're interested in connecting, reach back and let's have coffee. Let's have a phone conversation. And if nothing else, you're going to bring a smile to their face and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I can so relate because I've got the stack of business cards on my desk too.
Gosh, everybody and those stacks of business cards.
Yeah. In fact, I think I've got a couple stacks of business cards myself. I think I might take my own advice on that one.
Nice. Well, we are at 9:30 on the button.
Awesome.
So, Julie, thank you so much. This was super fun to chat with you and have the dogs barking in the background and all those things that live video brings.
Well, Tracy, I want to take a minute to acknowledge you. I should have done it at the beginning of the call. You know, you do really so much for so many, and you do it from a place of you really do have a servant's heart. To you, it's really about you walk again. You know how you talk the talk, you walk the walk. You get the whole, you know, if I give and give and give, it's going to come back tenfold. And you just do so much. It really is a no-brainer that you decided to lead an eWomen chapter because it just it's who you are. It's what you do, and now you're just doing it in a more formal way. But thank you, because you really do. You give so much. And I want to thank you for the opportunity of chatting with you for an hour today, because this has been really, we don't get this opportunity too much. So this is a lot of fun.
No, we really don't.
No.
So thank you. Thank you. I hear your words and I receive, and I am grateful. So I am going to stop the recording.
Awesome.
So bye everybody. And then
do we hang out or we hang up?
I'm going to hang out for a second.